you scroll through your feed and see it. Another IQ test. Another puzzle that promises to measure your intelligence in 10 seconds. This one shows you a cluttered room and asks you to find a chameleon. The caption claims that if you can spot it, your IQ is above 130. You pause, you look. Maybe you find it, maybe you don't. But here is what nobody tells you. This test has nothing to do with your IQ, and that matters more than you think. We live in a world obsessed with measuring intelligence. Everyone wants to know their number, their score, their rank. It makes sense. We want to believe we are special, that we are smarter than the average person scrolling next to us on the subway. So we take the bait, we click, we share, we compare. But these viral tests are not measuring what you think they are measuring. They are not measuring intelligence. They are measuring something else entirely, something deeper, something that actually matters in the real world. They are measuring your social intelligence. Here is the truth. Traditional IQ tests measure pattern recognition, logic, memory, abstract reasoning. They measure your ability to solve problems in isolation, in a quiet room with no distractions, no emotions, no people, just you and a problem. And sure, that matters. If you are a mathematician or a physicist or someone building algorithms in a basement, that kind of intelligence will take you far. But for everyone else, for the people living actual lives with actual humans, it means almost nothing. Because life is not a quiet room. Life is chaos. Life is reading the energy in a conversation, knowing when someone is lying, understanding what is not being said, spotting patterns in human behavior before they become problems. That is social intelligence. And it is the skill that separates people who survive from people who thrive. The chameleon test works because it tricks your brain. You look at a room, you see objects, furniture, colors, shapes. Your brain wants to categorize everything quickly. It wants to move on, but the chameleon does not fit. It blends, it hides. It forces you to slow down, to look closer, to notice what does not belong. And that is exactly what social intelligence is. It is the ability to see what others miss, to read between the lines, to notice the micro-expressions, the tone shift, the hesitation before someone answers a question. Most people walk through life blind. They hear words but miss meaning. They see faces but miss emotion. They are so locked into their own heads that they cannot read the room. And then they wonder why they keep getting burned, why people betray them, why they never see it coming. Because they were never taught to look. They were taught to solve equations, to memorize dates, to pass tests. But nobody taught them how to read people. And in the real world, people are the test. Social intelligence is not about being nice. It is not about being extroverted or popular or likable. It is about awareness. It is about understanding the invisible rules of every room you walk into. Every group has a hierarchy. Every conversation has subtext. Every silence means something. If you cannot see it, you are operating blind. You are the person who says the wrong thing at the wrong time. The person who gets manipulated. The person who trusts the wrong people. You become easy to read, easy to predict, easy to control. And in a world full of people trying to use you, that is dangerous. Think about the most successful people you know, not the smartest, the most successful. Chances are they are not geniuses. They did not invent calculus or cure diseases, but they know how to work a room. They know how to make people feel seen. They know when to speak and when to shut up. They know how to build alliances, how to negotiate, how to influence without forcing. That is not luck. That is not charm. That is social intelligence. And it is a skill. which means you can learn it. But here is the problem. We do not practice it anymore. We live through screens. We text instead of talk. We scroll instead of observe. We have replaced human interaction with algorithms. And algorithms do not teach you how to read body language. They do not teach you how to navigate conflict. They do not teach you how to spot a liar or a manipulator or someone who is pretending to be your friend. So we get weaker. We lose the instincts that kept our ancestors alive, the ability to sense danger, to read intent, to know who to trust, and we wonder why we feel so alone, why every interaction feels transactional, why we keep getting blindsided by people we thought we knew, because we stopped paying attention, we stopped looking. The chameleon in the room is a metaphor. It represents everything hiding in plain sight. The red flags you ignore in relationships, the lies people tell you with a smile, the opportunities you miss because you were not paying attention, the threats you do not see until it is too late. Most people go through life never finding the chameleon. They stumble through conversations. They trust the wrong voices. They follow crowds off cliffs. And they never stop to ask why. Because asking why requires awareness. And awareness requires you to slow down, to look closer, to question what you are seeing. This is not about being paranoid. It is about being awake. It is about understanding that people are complicated, that they hide things, that they lie, that they perform, that the face they show you is not always the truth. And if you cannot see through that, you will spend your entire life being played. You will be the person who gets cheated on and never saw it coming. The person who gets fired and calls it a surprise. The person who loses friends and blames everyone else. Because you were never looking, you were never reading the room. So what do? You start paying attention. You watch people when they think nobody is watching. You notice who talks and who listens, who controls the energy, who fakes confidence, who is desperate for approval. You study body language, tone, word choice. You learn the difference between someone who is nervous and someone who is hiding something. You notice patterns, who always has an excuse, who never takes responsibility, who plays victim, who weaponizes kindness. You stop taking things at face value. You stop believing people just because they say the right words. You start trusting behavior, because behavior does not lie. Words do, intentions do. But behavior always tells the truth. The chameleon test is not really about the chameleon. It is about whether you are the kind of person who looks, who notices, who sees what others miss. And in a world where everyone is distracted, where everyone is numb, where everyone is scrolling through life on autopilot, that ability is rare. It makes you dangerous, not in a violent way, in a powerful way, because you cannot be fooled, you cannot be manipulated, you cannot be controlled. You see the game, and once you see it, you can play it. Or better yet, you can walk away from it entirely. Your IQ does not matter. Not really. What matters is whether you can navigate the chaos, whether you can read people, whether you can spot the chameleon in every room you walk into. Because life is not a test you take in silence. Life is a conversation, a negotiation, a performance. And if you are not watching closely, you are losing. So stop scrolling, stop numbing, start looking. The chameleon is everywhere, and most people will never see it.